She didn't know it yet, but the cheap apartment she had just rented was not empty. It only looked that way. She had left her ex after hearing him scream one too many times at 2 in the morning. First, she crashed at a friend's, then in her car, an old thing with a window taped shut. She took her dog, a mutt named Shep, because leaving him with that man was unthinkable. For 2 weeks, they slept in the back seat, and every night Shep rested his head on her lap as if guarding her. She had been searching for a place for weeks, tired, stressed, almost out of money. When the realtor named the price for this apartment, she couldn't believe it. "Never seen such a low offer," she said, and didn't even ask about neighbors. The place looked clean, quiet, perfect. She didn't ask many questions, she just took it. The next day, she moved in with Shep, trying finally to relax after everything she had been through. At first, everything seemed normal. She unpacked, walked around, even smiled a little, like maybe things were getting better. Shep stayed close, sometimes looking around too carefully, but she ignored it, thinking he just needed time. That night, she went to sleep early, exhausted, hoping for a peaceful rest. But sometime in the night, she woke up, not fully, just enough to feel something was wrong. The apartment was too quiet. Then she heard it, slow footsteps, very light, almost careful, like someone trying not to be heard. She froze, listening, her heart slowly starting to beat faster. She looked at Shep. He was already awake, staring at the door, completely still. She whispered his name, but he didn't move, just kept watching. She told herself it was nothing, maybe neighbors, maybe the building, but deep down she already felt it wasn't normal. She tried to go back to sleep, but the sound came again, closer this time, like it was inside her apartment, not outside. She slowly got up, her body tense, every step careful. She opened the door and looked into the hallway. Nothing, just silence. She checked the kitchen, the bathroom. Everything looked the same, but something felt off, like the air itself had changed. She went back, but now she couldn't rest. She sat on the bed, waiting, listening. And then again, footsteps. This time, there was no doubt. Someone was there. Shep started to growl quietly, low and warning. She stood up again, fear growing stronger, and walked into the hallway, turning on the light. And that's when she saw it. A small door she hadn't noticed before, almost hidden in the wall. Her heart dropped. She knew something was wrong, but she still moved closer, slowly, her hands shaking as she touched the handle. It was cold, too cold. She hesitated, then opened it. Inside was a narrow, dark space. She stepped slightly inside, raising her phone light. The air smelled of dampness, old sweat, and something sweet, like rotting fruit. On the floor lay plastic bottles, crumpled cookie wrappers, a rag that served as a pillow, and an empty bucket. He had been living here, not a day, not 2. And then she saw him. A man. Thin, dirty, his face pale, his eyes wide and tired, like he hadn't seen daylight in a long time. They froze for a second, just looking at each other. For a moment she almost felt sorry for him, so gaunt, like a shadow. But then he smiled. Not cruelly, no, with hope, as if she were food, as if he had been waiting for her. He took a step toward her, whispering something, his voice weak but strange, like he didn't want her to leave. Panic hit her instantly. She grabbed something, an old lamp, and hit him, hard. He fell back but quickly got up, faster than she expected, and suddenly grabbed her arm, his grip tight, desperate. She tried to pull away but couldn't. Fear turned into pure panic. And right then, Shep jumped at him, biting his arm, making him lose balance. She pulled free and ran, not thinking, just running, her heart pounding. He followed immediately, his footsteps now loud, aggressive. She reached the main door, her hands shaking as she tried to unlock it. It felt like forever. He was right behind her, almost touching her, she could feel it. And just as he reached for her again, Shep attacked once more, giving her one last second. She opened the door and ran into the hallway, screaming for help, knocking on doors, her voice breaking. The man came out after her but slowed down as doors started opening, people stepping out, confused, then shocked. Someone shouted, someone grabbed their phone. The man stepped back, looking around, like he didn't expect this, like he was losing control. Within minutes, the police arrived. Everything moved fast after that. They entered the apartment, found the hidden space, and dragged him out. He resisted, shouting something no one understood, but it didn't matter anymore. He was caught, taken away. The girl sat on the floor, shaking, holding Shep close, trying to breathe, trying to understand that it was over, really over. A week later, she moved to another place, a studio on the 7th floor with an intercom and a steel door. Small, cramped, no balcony, but every corner visible from anywhere. The first night she slept with the light on. Shep slept by the door. Sometimes, in the middle of the night, he would lift his head and stare at a corner, and her spine would go cold again until she checked, once, twice, 3 times, that no one was there. After a month, she put away the nightlight, but she still flinched at the creak of the radiators. 2 days after the police took the man, an investigator called. He said the man had been living in that apartment for 3 months. The previous tenant had moved out suddenly. No one knew why. "You were very lucky," the investigator said. She didn't answer. She looked at Shep dozing on her lap and stroked him behind the ear. Not lucky. She just ran in time. Later, the realtor called again. Did she want to see another great deal? Cheap, central, could move in tomorrow. She silently hung up. And even months later, when everything was quiet again, she never forgot that night. Because sometimes, what looks like a good deal isn't luck at all. So never trust something that feels too cheap to be true.